everyone said, oh, this is going to be an amazing thing. It's been terrible.
I mean, okay, the synergy is obviously not there. The firepower is. And I will say also, they are a land-blooded team. That's one thing that I feel like is really going to show itself come this RMR, where there's a higher pressure environment, whereas some of the other online teams, yes, they've grinded through these online qualifiers.
Gata, boșilor, vă las, ne vedem pe YouTube. Adică doar să văd.
People like Axile, and I feel like people
Pe
are
YouTube
maybe
stăm, nu
even
pe TikTok?
sleeping on the fact that
Pe
there's
YouTube,
really
intru
all these
pe televizor, mă uit,
deficiencies in
stau în
all
pat.
these other parts. Like
Până
mini
încep
chips, they're interesting right now. But I
Asta
feel like
doarme, mă.
they're very top
Asta
heavy. They have
doarme.
like two good players.
Baci.
With Cloud9, I can
Nu
point
că
to four of their
stau și pe
players
telefon.
and be like, I've seen them deliver
Te
in a land
pupăm,
environment at
Sultane,
this
și
point.
Just
mersi
not
de seară.
on Cloud9 in this iteration
Hai,
of Cloud9.
seara
It'll
frumoasă,
come
vă
together.
pup,
They're not onliners. They're the opposite of onliners, okay?
Yeah, I mean, like Heavy Guy had like a recent interview where he's saying we just got to find a connection, or I guess they're going to hope the LAN is the connection that they need to get this through warp speed. Because I agree, the firepower is certainly there. Like Icy seems like an up and coming opper. We know Heavy God's really done a great job in European CS, kind of building up to this point to have this opportunity. And then you have a couple of veterans thrown in there as well who certainly can do great work.
The good thing about Cloud9 is that they can just switch the Asia RMR if they just switch one player next time anyway.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, there's a lot of that going on right now. Anyway, let's take a look at the mainstream. And again, I'll work in reverse order to set us up so we can talk about the first game. And there's Shanghai that we talked about versus Rebels. That's one of those coin toss games I truly believe both teams would love to get off to a great start in an eminently winnable game. Saw versus Sinners, Mouse versus Namiga. Dust's pick to upset and shock a few people this tournament. We'll see how that pans out. And then, of course, Na'Vi versus FANATIC to start us off. So let's start talking about that game. Obviously, an analyst who isn't with us, Jacob, the beloved pimp, he said Na'Vi, the reigning champions, lest we forget, it was a fluke major. I think he was kind of right at the time. I love that he proffered that. But now, of course, not here. Dead now, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he says that they continue to keep winning. And, I mean, there's a reason that you couldn't hire him. Like, if you're that wrong, there must be a blood sacrifice.
Look at you dancing on his grave. Yeah.
Love you, pimp. Love you. Unbelievable.
But no, I mean, Na'Vi, of course, right now, they're one of the teams of the year, unquestionably. They keep winning. For me, you know, I think defending the championship might be beyond them, but I think they're going to breeze through the RMR, surely.
I don't think it's beyond them. I think you're wrong. I think that Na'Vi are one major title away from having the first air in CS2. I really think it's very possible. And the reason why I say that is because their talent is so well balanced. I mean, you can really get it anywhere. Like JL and Bit are amazing playmakers on the extremities and can also be entry fraggers in certain executions. Obviously, Ema, he's had his dips at times, but he still does his role very well. Lexi B, one of the best IGLs in the world. Wonderful's up there in the opping department, in my opinion. He's on the more passive end, but he hits some really nice shots, and he's stable. He's a foundation you can rely upon. And also the big thing for me with Na'Vi is, look, they had a bad last World Final. Let's all agree. That was tough. Yeah. But before that, they made 6 straight finals and won 3 of them. They won the last major, obviously. They have been the most consistent team. They are certainly number one. There's no doubt about it. They have a really wide map pool. They're very deep tactically. Like, they have a ton going for them, in my opinion. I think they could win this major.
Yeah. The one thing about Na'Vi coming into this event, though, is that everybody has looked at them as the blueprint for how to play CS2. To attain that level of consistency requires such deep strategy and layering of strategy, which Blade has meticulously laid out for everyone to now copy. That's the worrying sign for Na'Vi, where you can say, yes, they were so good in all of these other events, Banana Cups, what have you, but at this point, when coming into the RMR, everybody knows what Na'Vi does. That's why the lack of surprise factor, the fact that they're not an underdog anymore, yes, they're balanced, but we also know the deficiencies in some of their players too at this point, and so many teams, maybe not in the RMR, but come the major itself, they may be more exploitable.
Right, well, let's talk about their opponents. FANATIC, kind of at the opposite end. I agree with you, Dust. I think FANATIC are like a team that's kind of... Its roster is strange right now, and I'm on record, you know, when Blamef joined, they were saying, this shows that we're so back to tier 1 and we're serious, and I'm like, give him some help. Yeah. You know, and unfortunately, that kind of has panned out. What do you make of their chances here?
Well, they have tried to give them some help by bringing in Knock. That's a very recent addition to the team for Afro in the AWP department, and I think Knock is certainly still a very strong opper. Blame F, obviously a guy that you know is going to get his numbers. On this team, he actually plays a little bit more aggressively than he's played on some other teams, which is kind of nice. Granted, a lot of those are eco rounds, unfortunately, but let's forget about that. He can still make plays, is my point, anywhere he's at on the map. And then, you know, honestly, kind of looking through the rest of it, I think Body does a pretty good job. you know, kind of IGLing and helping with the entry work. And then Maddie's is a strong aggressive rifler. And as we get into the pick bans here, I mean, obviously, like the main bans you're expecting to see is, you know, Navi eventually getting rid of Vertigo and FANATIC eventually getting rid of Nuke. But after that, I think it could go kind of a bunch of different directions. And Navi's map pool is just so wide that I think that they can really feel good anywhere. I am surprised they let this go to Inferno, though, because that's actually one of the few maps FANATIC have looked consistently pretty sharp on in online play. That's like that, and maybe their Ancient have been kind of their better map. So I'm kind of shocked that Navi let it go to Inferno, which to me is kind of like more of a mid-table map for them. Like I think they're one of the best teams in the world on Dust 2 and Mirage, and I think their Ancient and Anubis are very good. So to see them somehow let it get to Inferno actually kind of surprises me.
Yeah, Maui?
I feel like you could have gone in so many directions if you're FANATIC, and none of them would have been a good answer there. Like, I don't think there's really any hope for them in this series or this BO1. I feel like they're dealing with so many different problems right now. Like, one guy we never even mentioned here is Crims. We talk about the fact that he's a rock, he's a legend, but in reality, if you watch them on their player cams through online tournaments, he's getting crazily frustrated. Like, he's getting really mad at what's going on in their team right now, and it feels like they are not synergized whatsoever right now, whereas Navi has been pretty much at this point a case study in how to make a team look as flawless and smooth as possible.
Yeah. Just anything to add to that regarding FANATIC's chances, because you're surprised at it being on Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, with it being a best of one and with it being Inferno, like the one map where I have seen FANATIC actually perform to some decent of a level, like there's like, I mean, you take like the 1% chance to like maybe like a 10% chance. Like it's obviously still Navi, very much the favorite. Again, they're Inferno. It's kind of middle of the table. Their map pool. They still beaten some really good teams along the way. Still have a positive record on the map. So they must have thought of a reason why they would allow it to get to Inferno in a best of one. And you still certainly have to make them the favorites. I mean, again, as you know, Maya was talking about earlier, they show you the blueprint of how to play this game. And they know how to play the fundamentals well, and they can throw in some cool pacing.
Well, there's always the bit factor on Inferno as well, right? Like he just hits that flow state like Jedi, and that's it. It's all over, you know?
I mean, he's the Prince of Pit. I mean, he is unbelievable in there, indomitable in many ways, and in terms of his lurking as well, very strong. I guess the one guy that I think people should really keep an eye out for on the FANATIC side is Mattis. We only know him right now because he has a dusty old mouse pad that he's still just kind of like dragging through the mud, and just like, I don't even know what he's done to it at this point. Like, he's probably tearing up the edges himself at this point. Big Wabi Sabi fan, obviously, but I don't know if that's going to be good enough here.
All right, guys, thanks a lot for your thoughts. We're ready to get into the game, so we're going over to the casters, which are Moses and Dinko.
Thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, I think there's lots to look out for. The desk has given us everything we need to look out for. We need to look out for Crims tilting, Mattis's dirty mouse pad, and a chance FANATIC might beat them.
And Maui's cleavage. You got to look out for that as well.
That's true. That chest terror, it wakes me up in the morning.
It's looking great. It's really looking stylish. Navi taking on FANATIC to open up the EU RMR. Nicely laid out by the by the desk. We're the commentators. We're not the desk.
We're going to highlight it as best as we can.
Yeah, as best as we can.
We're going to do what we can.
Look, this is a really tall task for FANATIC. Obviously, Dust was talking a lot about it, and no reason to argue with them at all. Navi is the best team in the world, and they are poised to have a very, very good run at this major as well. And we'll see what they can do coming out of that really rough Blast World Finals, but it's all good. We can forget about that quickly with a good performance here. Alexi taken down quickly. Now it's all on the dualies of Wonderful.
But there's also a second player in behind the sandbags, and that's JL, who comes out swinging. Blameth to down him. And now 3 players gone from the Navi defense. The B-bomb site has toppled, and FANATIC into the 4v2, which should result in a pistol run quite comfortably.
Yeah, nice little pistol run. Now, I mean, it seems so far gone. If there was a best of 3, I don't think you'd have anyone even talking about FANATIC having a chance whatsoever. No. But you put this in a best of 1, and you've got some players in here on the FANATIC side, as rough as it may have looked. A good performance out of Blameth, good performance out of Mattis, good performance out of Knock, which we've seen. Those guys can carry FANATIC through a lot of stretches, so the best of 1 can be very, very dangerous for them as well.
Yeah. I like what Maui said about looking out for Mattis, though, as an individual player. I think he's... Oh, my God. Ima. 2 kills back, get away around the corner, run away from it. Ima. Oh, God, nearly gets back to it with the Julies. Time would have probably been a problem anyway. But
yeah, I don't think he would have got it.
It was stylish towards the end. But yeah, Maui's saying, you know, look out for Mattis' individual skill. I think we've definitely seen glimpses of him in his time in FANATIC so far, especially being one of those players that hasn't necessarily had experience near the top of Counter-Strike and was showing that he was at times capable of playing at the level.
A cool little preview on that pistol round of something we can talk about as well for a little bit that we all kind of know already is that this performance out of EMA recently. You want to talk about that first major victory being a little bit of a fluke for Na'Vi? I don't think there's really a whole lot of argument for that, but then you look at the way that EMA has developed, that BIT has developed, and this team has come together. The step up in performance from EMA and BIT from that major has been what has kind of locked Na'Vi in as the best team in the world at the moment. That gamble of picking up EMA out of Paris after just one glimpse of what he can do on a big stage, high risk, high reward, and Na'Vi at the moment, while they had to take the risk part for 4 months, they've got the reward now.
Well, speaking of high risk, high reward, BIT is down bottom middle and he's come out with a kill, but unfortunately those two that Na'Vi picked up early have been traded immediately by FANATIC, so 3v3.
Yeah, but FANATIC also doesn't realize that the A bomb site was wide open after that kind of a push. Now they're going to start moving in, but it's EMA! We just said his name!
Oh my god, Emma. Another chance to bring down blueMeF. This would be 3 on the Deagle, but blueMeF stands strong. He's low in HP, but you always got to give blueMeF a chance in these situations. Bomb goes down on default, and he's still a long way off here. JL's at bottom middle, and blueMeF just smokes out short. It's not the most comfortable position to play this post.
I don't think that smoke actually helps him all that much either. I think that smoke actually makes him feel a little bit more nervous.
Yeah, he can't move. He's got to worry about apps. He's got to worry about short, long. And now he moves into the bomb site. He hears the steps at long. They're coming out together. blueMeF has a shot at this. Inside of the site, though, JL drops him with one shot on the Deagle. And that's Na'Vi bouncing back immediately with the force buy.
Yeah, he had to try and get a reposition in somehow, and I'm not exactly sure. You obviously can't trust going into pit. Alexi was holding that angle. Really smart play from Alexi, just being patient, realizing his biggest role is keeping track of blueMeF, not allowing the pit access for that player because it's such a strong position. But EMA steps up. The Deagle delivers. And Na'Vi respond immediately with a second round, and that's got to hurt for FANATIC, because you come into this looking to cause an upset, and it's like, all right, guys, let's get out to a good start. Let's win that pistol, let's convert, let's go on to the first gun round with the economic advantage, and already you're stopped cold.
Well, you know you did a decent amount of damage to the CT side. You got 3 kills and also a bomb plant. So FANATIC going for a force buy straight away again. Galil out on body, everybody else in upgraded pistols. But you've just got to favor what Na'Vi have brought to the
Gata,
table.
brother. Mersi frumos, bro.
Over in the hands of JL, 2
Te pup, chef.
and MP9's in the hands of Alexi and BIT. They've got banana control early as well with JL, making sure that that's in possession of Na'Vi.
Love me some Crims.
Yeah, it's good to see him. Bald brother, Jason, is that it? Or?
Yeah, we stick up
Că
for each
ține,
other.
cred că e best of one, dacă nu mă înșel. Deci n-ar trebui să țină mult.
At least recently the most edition or Grim?
Yeah. No, we haven't counted Grim yet. Grim?
No?
No, not yet.
Because he has a choice.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, Crim's
He's
been
just
in this team for 8 years, Jason.
I know.
That's crazy.
I love it. It's great. He's just a franchise player. Although it's got to be, I mean, Maui's talking about seeing him being frustrated on webcams in the online play. I think it's a couple of things, right? I think it's obviously, yeah, sure, some frustration about this particular team and some of the struggles they're going on in this path. I think it's also with Crims, you know, the fact that he's having to play so many online tournaments. FANATIC really
Best
hasn't
of
been to
one,
a whole
bro.
lot of
E best
LAN
of one.
tournaments this year. In fact, they've only been to 2 like tier 1 lands, which is, well, obviously these RMRs, but the ESL Pro Leagues.
Deci nu durează mult. E mapa asta și atât.
And I think the other part is the constant rebuilding phase of FANATIC that has never been able to get its feet set.
Oh my god, never getting their feet set in this round either as JL. Probably should have got more out of the back of the site, but eventually getting taken down by Crims. And Alexi B was damaged, so he's forced behind the coffin smoke. Fortunately, Imma's spam through that CT smoke has resulted in another kill here for Na'Vi. And no bomb plant for FANATIC. Grenade lands perfectly on top of Crims. And despite getting into the B bomb site, there was never a comfortable chance to actually plant. And blueMeF not really in a position to fight this one. So he's going to get away, try and save that Galil and Kevlar. There's absolutely nothing to play with FANATIC without a bomb plant.
2-1. Best of one ăsta, băi, e periculos. Care e românul? Băiatul ăla de a jucat cel mai bine până acum. Imu. Are 6 fraguri. E top fragger. Pe scoreboard. Știu, Aline, și eu voiam să mă joc mult de tot înainte când aveam calculator, bro. Mă jucam 1.6 decât... Dar îmi plăcea mult să mă uit la competiții cu aia. Dădeam play-uri la competițiile alea vechi de pe 1.6.
But he's only been to one major, Jason, and that to me is so surprising. Like one major in that entire time, despite being a top player for 4 years.
Well, remember, he really kind of had his breakout on that complexity roster that came together, that Jason Lake building the juggernaut. Obviously, you know, kind of we hit the COVID era, the online era, the pandemic, and, much like some of the other players we discussed in the Americas RMR, you know, when your kind of best moment of your career, your rise-up moment is during those, you know, 1.5, 2-year stretch of COVID. Yeah, you just haven't been able to get to majors, so really, really unfortunate.
And then he joined Astralis, and he couldn't get to majors either.
Yeah, failed the last
Da, și eu jucam.
right here in the studio. And that's what
Not
cost
looking
him.
like they're going to make this one, Jason.
That's what cost him his spot in the Astralis roster.
Yep, that is exactly what happened. Well, wonderful. Ima. 2 first kills here for Na'Vi. Mattis at least getting something on the Deagle, but it should be a shutdown. A 3-1 lead out front here for Na'Vi. And still, you can see the effects of the Blame F save, as you mentioned earlier. He's still at $2,750 with the rest of his teammates can buy.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not ideal. So he's going to be stuck back to the Deagle. And FANATIC with the 2-round deficit, and
Acum joc PUBG, eu nu mă joc, bro, nu mă joc PUBG.
As Wonderful brings out the AWP, Ema's coming in hot in this game, 8-3 to start.
Puteai mai și pe el.
That A bomb site, very intimidating defense to have to break through, and then you add in Wonderful's AWP, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is not going to be fun. Oh, homeboy's wearing a Chicago Bulls shirt.
Damn.
Shout out to Jordan one time.
Just that guy, Michael Jordan.
He was pretty good.
Pretty decent Chicago Bulls player.
Yeah, Derrick Rose retired recently. You don't know anything about that?
No, don't know who Derrick Rose is.
Să mută ăla, mă, ce face nebun. Mă supăr.
I know Michael Jordan, though.
Yeah, of course you do.
No, bra, no. Astăzi, today it's free day. The day of no sleep.
There's a... Apparently the logo looks like something else. Let me see if I can find out.
Să nu ți strike pe YouTube, bă,
timeout from FANATIC has switched into a tech, so small issue as we see the coaches talking to the referees to get things figured out really early on in this game. 3-1 scoreline.
Îi fac lui Baciu. Merită Baciu.
The Chicago Bulls logo
Pe YouTube să aibă.
it looks like a crab getting sort of intimate with a sort of alien robot kind of thing.
That's what you're bringing to the table for the RMRs, Tinko?
Yeah. So if you want to check that out, guys.
Haide, bossule, haide.
You can enjoy that. It's just something I noticed.
Technical pauses.
All my 37 years, Dinko, I've never even heard anything like that before.
Well, you now.
I now have.
You will look at the Chicago Bulls logo.
It's a new perspective.
That's like tech issue, and the tech issues of this tournament have been fixed really fast. So here we are.
It's a floating chicken.
Look, it's legless like you, Jason.
Eu tot mâncam jos.
It's missing.
Navă spațială.
Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up?
Just like you, the like suddenly appeared.
Yeah, like Jesus, just walking on air.
Te pup, bacile, te pup, bro.
Here we are. Back to the game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, just like Jesus.
It is very early in the day. And the tech issues are still unresolved. Well, this is going to be a cool game, cool day of Counter-Strike. Obviously, I think these RMRs are so much fun. We had, the B stream schedule. Oh, never mind. We don't have to go into that. Shout out to the referees for saving me.
Yeah, but that B-string game is Vitality.
Never mind. It's another tactical pause, so we'll just go right back into it.
Legion, right on that B-string, Jason.
Da, marcherul Zeus.
It's going to be a hard one for Gamer Legion, but I really like Ash. I really like his perspective on the game, and he makes some wonderful content. So obviously, he's the coach of Gamer Legion. Feel free to go check out his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of cool information if you want to learn how the game of Counter-Strike is played on a professional level. Very, very valuable. That FaZe Cloud9 game is super intriguing.
Yes.
Cloud9 obviously very.
Păi să ne mai dai semne, mă, că după aia zicem că tu dormi.
But it's got some very cool pieces, and we know FaZe have had plenty of issues this year, and also notoriously slow starters, especially if you chuck them into a dark, isolated
tu ai zis să ne uităm la meci. Am un paharul ăla pentru tine, Alan. Ia uite, eu beau Pepsi. Am mai rămas niște Pepsi.
They struggle, but they make it.
Chance anymore.
It's true.
And the last chance for the Paris RMRs, that was Cloud9 versus FaZe. That was a great time. But different rosters now. 3-1 scoreline. Timeout's done, and FANATIC ready to go into battle. Remember, it was Blame F with the lack of AK.
Exact.
Knock the Deagle.
Shout out to Knock for taking that as well.
Ooh. Yeah, that's why. That's why you give Blame F the AK-47 straight away.
Don't you dare call him a baiter. Look at him. Entry fragging. He's a whole new man here on Inferno.
Wonderful's turn to strike for the AWP, but he's held behind that smoke. And it's another setup where Na'Vi have 3 players leaning towards B, but Wonderful, once he rings that shot off, he's on the rotate back over towards this A-bomb site. And Mattis is about to apply pressure towards Bit, who
Bine, mă, Bit. Bine, șefule.
No one actually in the A-bomb site. Look at this Na'Vi setup. Both players Wonderful and Bit playing far back on the rotation of the AWP. They're happy to slide into this site. They got to be careful. Crim's up in holes, and Bit being pressured from lane. Dinked up. Now it's on the off.
Wonderful on the bomb site. Bit goes down on default. Wonderful under a lot of pressure. Now waiting on the rotation, but Crim's out of the balcony. What a shot. Right down to the back of the bomb site through the box. And the plank comes in. Knock now with an AK-47 to try and close this round, and FANATIC a player up. Look at that free play here from Imma. He's going to get boosted up on top, but Knock is ready for it. And that sniper in his hands annihilates him and forces Alexi B into the save.
Ce soartă avem, bă.
You've given him a free AWP, Knock, and obviously a big rise with his opping capability. He had some very good sequences throughout.
Am jucat Blazik, da. Nu se făcea pe Mirgul, se făcea pe TeamSpeak.
But a good response for FANATIC, and for Na'Vi just missing the timing on that rotation. You could see Bit desperately wanted to peek in towards halls, hoping it was clear so he could try and cross over towards pit. Both players inside the bomb site.
E duminică, Bianca, te-ai dat peste cap, nebunul.
Good spam as the attack progresses up lane. Second round for FANATIC.
Yeah, only a month on the team for Knock.
Mixuri.
It's going to take some time to sort of acclimate himself.
Căutau oameni pentru...
Spent most of his year with Kasad.
Clar.
So we'll see how Knock is in performing his new squad.
Păi și tu mai poți să beau. Eu n-am mai băut vin roșu de mult.
Let's see if he can bring it out here at the RMRs. One round lead and a force buy or a desperate buy.
Blazik ăla era bun, bro.
As they've got two MP9s on Bit and Alexi. So you're hoping this all from Wonderful and JL could do better at sandbags, but Blame F going for yet another entry. This time can't handle it. JL able to double up.
Great start of the round here from JL. Na'Vi should be in pole position now to round out the round win already. And that's a problem, and Maui called him the Prince of Pit. Well, here he is, down there with the MP9.
He's a prince, he's a Jedi.
Din ce am văzut,
a Prince Jedi.
La Shanghai ăsta,
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Astea sunt grupe.
Well, if there's knights, it makes sense. There has to be some sort of hierarchy.
Joacă meciuri.
Well, the round's done, so
toată lumea.
it doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot.
Și după aia începe runda 2.
Yeah, you have two options really if you're FANATIC, which is save for the round or head to banana and just do a set piece out of the B box.
Chiar nu înțeleg care cum e.
The set piece doesn't seem like a bad idea at all.
No, not in any way. They got a smoke for the cross. They got Molotovs for new box for coffins if they want to be able to crack in. A couple flashbangs.
To move off of A now.
This is the problem: is this follow-up smoke? Alexi, the sole defender, just as you could see Bit and Wonderful clearing alt mid, and Bit can start getting aggressive. The entire idea is we're pushing and there's nothing here, so delay. And that's exactly what Alexi's doing. So this is played perfectly for Na'Vi. Good protocols with utility. They know exactly what's coming.
Wonderful on the rotate.
He's got a flashbang.
And he's got the util to throw in. JL actually got caught by it. Alexi B without the first kill. 15 seconds. All JL needs to do is stop that ball from going down in the site. And he does more than that. A beautiful double. Make it 3 for JL, and that adds up to 5. Huge round from JL.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular. Opens it up in banana with a double, closes it out with a triple on the bomb site defense. Stellar play from JL. I think he's always a fun conversation at the moment because...
E bine.
All right, let's get a little weird.
Bine rău aici, JL.
I like the conversation of you know, the best player in the world. Obviously, we've got Zaiwu, we've got Monasi, we've got Donk, right?
Okay, don't you even say it.
Is there a world if JL gets a second major MVP this year with a second major trophy, and if you go back and look at the first major that they win, JL was a monster. Like the amount of clutches and impact he had. So at what point does the impact of JL overcome the statistics of some of the other players? Could you insert him into that conversation? Just as a, you know, a hypothetical exercise, a rhetorical exercise. A thought exercise, if you will.
I personally, you know, I'm not going to make that call, Jason, but the fact that he's a rifler as well, and if you get a second major MVP on a rifle, that's very impressive.
I mean, his stats
de la cola aia de-ai băut-o, Bianca. De la cola aia, să ținți așa.
The impact he's been able to have for Na'Vi, the importance of the round wins that he gives them that help them win the big matches and the big tournaments.
Yeah.
You could probably
Da, să nu-l audă. Să nu-l audă.
He should in some level be involved in the conversation. And a second major MVP could make it a very interesting conversation.
I mean, yeah, and you look at their performance in Singapore was obviously Navi's worst event. You look at JL, he didn't have a great performance whatsoever. And obviously a lot of Navi players, but him in particular struggled at that tournament, so he doesn't play well. Navi don't make it through, Jason.
That tournament cracked me up because I remember it opened up and I read the Blade interview where he's just like, you know, heading into the major, if we win yet another event, like we're gonna have way too much confidence. And his boys were like, we hear you, coach. We got your back.
We will.
Last place.
We got exactly what you need.
Yeah. Don't worry, coach. We're not going to be confident whatsoever. We'll go out last.
I mean, it was getting a little ridiculous with the amount of finals they were making in a row, and I think there was a certain point where you expected to see a drop-off.
That's Blade's designed roadmap was win, 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 last place.
Before the arm-ups.
Just to humble us a little bit.
E grenada a luat ăsta, bă.
They would have taken some extended breaks as well before that tournament. There was obvious.
Ia răp cu grenada cu aia. A rămas în 46-lea.
Sort of bickering and a lot of conversation about how tired they were on the circuit. So
Te pup, Zeze, te pup, șefule.
to see them come into Singapore not in the best of forms. Pretty slow start here from FANATIC though in Inferno, and when you go this far down in the MR12 BO1, you've got a mountain to climb.
It's not bad at the moment. I think what's unfortunate for FANATIC is you have to look at the really important swing rounds, and they've already missed the opportunity at one. There was that buy up from Navi where they had the 2 MP9s and were running out of money. Would have been a massive round for FANATIC to win, to take away the economy and maybe be able to scrap some more rounds together with easier against pistols. They need to set themselves up for that again, which means you're going to have to win 2 rounds in a row. That's a great start. Nice peak from Bit, but a better reaction from Crims.
Yeah, I guess the dink off for Bit. Here comes the play into the B bomb site for FANATIC.
Do they realize how close they are? This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Alexi's gonna have a rude awakening. Utility comes in, so he tosses out the molly to slow them down upon the entrance. 29 seconds. FANATIC still applying pressure towards the B bomb site with the Util, but they're running back towards A now.
And once again, Navi playing outside the bomb site, both on Rap side.
Oh, here's wonderful. It's going to be a dry peek right towards the sniper. He hasn't left his position. The rifle of Ima expected to get a kill. Would have absolutely expected to get some impact, but wonderful. Moving through the smoke, getting ready for this play up. Short, oh, they collateral, they line up. Wonderful. Gets that one bullet, 2 kills.
Double.
And FANATIC fall to just 2 players, and they're very low on health.
Băi, trebuia să nu facă repic ăsta, bă, cu polarul, cu aia. Trebuia să nu facă repic. Trebuia să alerge direct.
I think he's got to go for something a little crazy. I feel like that boiler flank would be such a badass play with this kind of HP, but slow paced, and there goes Knock. Now Crims stuck up in halls. Once they clear pit, they're going to know exactly where he is.
Time ticking. Not on that defuse, but JL able to look
Bun,
up and clear out Crims off the balcony. FANATIC get a close round again, but it's Navi coming out on top.
That double kill from Wonderful saves the day.
Adevărat, bă.
I wonder if anyone on the team, though, is noticing this. This is the second time they've gone to the A bomb site. Actually, probably not, because the first time that Navi played outside the bomb site, they actually were able to shift into the site itself at like the perfect moment. But they're playing really lackadaisical in terms of defense inside the bomb site throughout the round. A lot of it is on Rap side initially. This one, FANATIC come back for that change-up away from the B bomb site back towards A. They've got 1 smoke. They don't use it for left mid. They use it for small pit, and able to get a 1 kill is wonderful on that. The second tactical pause for FANATIC.
FANATIC just going to go for a half bar here to leave as much cash
Duce bine în spate.
as possible.
Pe oricum sunt favoriții pe departe la meciul ăsta. Nu e așa o echipă extraordinară FANATIC, dar fiind un best of one, se pot întâmpla surprize la best of one-uri. Mă, grenadă bună, bă, iar uitați-vă mâncava și damage. 21 damage. 21 HP mai are la 51. Haide, șefilor. Hai la moarte sigură. Hai, mielușei.
Wonderful. Oh, nice shot. Down to the end of the hallway. Matt is caught.
Should be an indication of what's to come as well. Hulls pop.
Iar o grenadă.
Force the issue. Nice flash though.
Yeah, great flash. Bit now waiting out under the darkness of the porch. A nice shot from Wonderful. Wasn't ready for Crims to be below his crossover. His teammate should deal with that threat. Now it's just body left alone. It's short. Somehow gets away with that. despite being low in HP. There should be no other steps available for body in this round.
Yeah, I think that grenade even blew away any rifle he might even be thinking about picking up. Regardless, he's just hoping for a kill at this point. He's hoping to catch Alexi be on the flank, snoozing a little bit, but Alexi's like, nah,
Ăsta o să ducă să moară, că oricum îi trebuie să banii de rundă.
So 7-2.
Yeah. Would you say Fnatic are the favorites going into this major cycle? Or not Fnatic, Na'Vi.
Okay.
that would have been easy to answer.
Yeah, I was like, no, I would not say that.
Would you say that, Jason? Na'Vi, obviously.
You know, I don't actually think there's a
7-2.
favor
Runda asta e periculoasă.
into the major in terms of winning the whole
Ca o ia
thing.
full
I
buy.
think
Haide
the most
tot.
you could say about Na'Vi is that
Haide
at the
și
moment,
Fighters.
with the results, it feels like they're the best team in the
mâncava
world,
și
the
talentul
team you
ăsta.
can probably count on to deliver on that result more than any other squad. I think G2 on some level is number 1, I think, in the Valve rankings right now, if I recall correctly.
The Valve ranking doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah, if G2 is number 1 on the Valve ranking, Na'Vi is number 2 on the HLTV rankings. Na'Vi's number 1, G2's number 2. So wherever you go with that, but even if you want to say G2 is the best
Le e
team in
frică
the
acum
world,
să mai vine pe banana, băi.
I don't think you can have a whole lot of
Goștii,
confidence
te
in
pup, mersi de inimă de junglă.
consistent.
Le e frică, bro, le e frică să mai vină.
Throughout really the history of G2, we know if they hit their peak, hit their best game, yeah, they can be the best.
O luat la grenade de nu mai știu. Foarte bine, bula, așa și trebuie, bro. Uite un gambling bun, bă. Dacă vine ăștia pași și noi suntem 4. Ai.
Thinking about getting his cross here onto the boiler angle. He's got around that corner now. Wonderful, just taking space, making sure they haven't pushed into top mid. That allows his rifler of Imma to feel confident to walk out and peek long. Fnatic posturing into what is going to be an A play. It's Wonderful to strike first on top mid again. Another dry peek from Mattis right into Wonderful. He'll collect that, move back into the bomb site. And because of these kills from Wonderful, Na'Vi are constantly up a player. And Fnatic having to deal with very difficult rounds in front of them.
Ooh, good break of the smoke. Body's ready for the fight. Takes down Imma. Now can apply some pressure. And that's going to force Bit to step up in lane to go clear brackets as Wonderful plays very passively. And Bit's getting all the information.
JL, but the peek from Body at the archway wasn't the cleanest spray, but eventually got his kill. Now the B bomb site under threat.
They might think it's clear. They might think it's clear because of JL.
Blamef looks like he's going to be checking new bucks, but it doesn't matter because he still steps up with a headshot here, Alexi. He swings into the open. His teammates have arrived, but JL also going down. This quick flank from Bit. Are they ready for how quick he is? No. There was grenades in hand for Crims, and now it's all on Knock. And he's had a quiet map so far, but this would be one hell of a time to step up.
Bait Wonderful.
Sent Wonderful in first. Low HP. Headshot in, and Knock steps up with the 1v2. A huge round after such a quiet first half performance.
Yeah, massive from Knock. That's a big boy win to keep Fnatic swinging in this fight. I mean, that had to be.
Ce bună era runda asta cu aia, ce bună era runda asta cu aia.
Good round from Body to open things up. Better round from Knock to close things out. And Bit just could not land that final kill. Beautiful clutch. And Fnatic have a chance to come back in this. I talked about Fnatic having to win those impact rounds, those swing rounds. This is another one right here, because the money of Na'Vi is real rough.
Da, pe YouTube clar se uită pe televizor.
They do have an AWP, they do have plenty of utility.
Sau se uită landscape, probabil.
But you win this round if you're Fnatic, and you got to be thinking we're at 5, and that's not a bad T-half.
Tactical pause. Runda asta de acolo. Jujuchel. Hei, Alexei. Ia uite mă nebunul. Te pup, băi, șefule. La 30 barosane. Trebuie să-mi baci pe 30 de ore.
Heavy setup towards the B bomb side to start the round here for Na'Vi.
Yeah, which really can be confusing if you're Fnatic on the T side. If you're trying to count
ce mă polo, băi, bacile despre tine, că ești pe 3 televizoare tu.
Not realizing how much utility they actually have after the initial salvo. And this time a more standard defense at the A bomb site.
Da, șefule, da.
And a late take of Banana
Gata
forces out
bossul.
some utility from FANATIC. Not a whole lot of damage onto Blamef, but resources ripped out of his hands as he's got to extinguish the Molotov. No flashbangs for FANATIC, which kind of sucks when you consider how much they've been picked off by the AWP of Wonderful. And that Molotov as well, negating the truck smoke for a Hulls pop. So they're just going to try and improvise a mid to B split. They've got to get through Alexi.
Mattis cuts off Ima. Still yet to test Alexi, but here it comes. Oh, they jump around the corner. Alexi not ready for the second player. And now they go to the B bomb site where it's just JL. They realize that Alexi is the B player, and now JL does not get anything despite having such a hot game. So FANATIC, you mentioned this is one of those swing rounds. They have an opportunity to break them on towards the end of the half. They picked it up. So 4 rounds secured for FANATIC and a great chance to try and grab 5.
I think Ima lost his head there a little bit, kind of wandering out over towards Library, a little lackadaisical, not expecting the rap side play from FANATIC. And really well done with low utility, finding a way to crack in. 7-4, money going to be gone from Na'Vi, but saving the AK, saving the AWP is very, very nice. Alexi's got some money to get an SMG behind it as well. But FANATIC have a chance to recover in a half that very easily could have spiraled out of control. They've
Până la
stuck with
13, ce 13? Bianca. Noi ne uităm doar la meciul ăsta. Da, până la 13, runda 13, da. Eu am zic până la 13, ora 13, zic, ce? Nu-i sănătos.
Yeah, it would be pretty frustrating for JL, who would have expected himself to at least get something out of that B defense as the solo player.
Scor, da.
I think you go into that flash, though, knowing, like, I need to create a miracle in that sort of a situation. Would have liked to, I mean, at least one wanted to connect with and see what you get after the fact, but it was always going to be tough for JL to save that round. If he doesn't get, like, 3 there, it's really probably a lost round regardless.
Blamef taking a hit from utility, but getting dropped by the MP9 of JL, who continues to go around the corner and loses life eventually to body. So 1 for 1 for JL. Alexi B, gets him behind the sandbags. Here they come. Swings into the open. Mattis, what a double kill.
Băi,
Opens it right up for FANATIC. Crimson Boiler, no problem against
Bolo și-a luat membru pe YouTube, ce
I think, you know, if you're Blade, you're probably not going to be too pleased with what you've seen out of these last 2 rounds for Na'Vi. This half started out really well, but I think a little disorganized, a little Na'Vi players getting caught.
În seara aia când a venit de la nuntă, de toată lumea zicea... Făcea mișto de aia, că e live.
So FANATIC get as close as they possibly can. A 2-round lead for Na'Vi going into the second half.
Adevărat. Lasă-i, șef, că...
And we'll see what FANATIC can do on the defensive stand.
Wonderful. Gets dropped at the end. 5 rounds secured in the end for FANATIC.
Tempo, Bolo, tempo, bro.
It was such a great start to the half from Na'Vi, and fortunately for FANATIC, they're still in this. Pissed around can make a difference. Tie it up real quick.
Well, it can. You got to win that second round, though, Dinko.
That's true, and we see a lot of teams struggle with that. So we'll keep an eye on whether or not Na'Vi can get a bomb plan in this pistol at a minimum.
I think Kita asking how long they have in the halftime break.
Hai să vedem cum se joacă.
Get a little chat with his boys. Coach is allowed to speak during warm-up before the game, during halftime, and any timeouts.
During bathroom breaks, apparently, as well. We did see those during the...
Those are all, you know, I haven't gotten confirmation on what the rules exactly are in the bathroom breaks.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those in the Americas RMR. Kita, obviously, being the coach of Blamef during his complexity time that you were mentioning earlier. So that's a duo reunited.
Polonia, mersi frumos de inimă, membru.
Yeah, I think Kid is a good presence and been with FANATIC
for
a while
Dragon,
now.
Pe TV, mâncați-ți.
For them, it's this rebuilding phase just taking so very long. Still haven't found the winning recipe to get them back into the top.
Bă, ia uite-l, mâncați-ți groata ăsta. Bă, nebunule.
One of the oldest organizations we have in Counter-Strike. Pistol round of the second half.
Doamne, mâncați-ți groata, băi.
Decent amount of utility spread across the.
Ai văzut avionul, Biancu?
2 nades, Molotov, smoke just deployed now towards
the
the base
mama,
of Banana.
Ăsta era Fly Dubai ăla, cu care m-am dus eu în Dubai, zic bun. Doamne, bă, stai nebun la cap, mă, bă, băiatule, ce faci, mă? Ți-a picat telefonul cu aia din greșeală, ți-a dat cu capul. Bă, Dragney. Doamne, uitați-vă la asta ce face la 6:30 dimineața, mâncați și nici nu pot să țip că... Nici nu mai am energie cu aia, băi.
That means Na'Vi have a decent amount of space.
Doamne, nu e sănătos, băi.
There is this problem. If Bit goes into the apartments, there's 2 players around that corner, and he gets annihilated instantly. So they're going to change up their position straight away.
Dragney.
At least he gets information there was 2 players in the apartment.
Yeah, but that kill happened so fast that Na'Vi can't really take advantage of it. You think if he got that engagement live, they'd probably kind of start hustling up lane to a certain extent.
Băi, îți mulțumesc frumos, bro, îți mulțumesc frumos din suflet, bro. Intră regina Apollo.
Damage from Wonderful. Imma stepping up with his long play though. He's taking body out of the sight, silences him in the library.
Te pup, băi, Dragney, te pup, bă.
Still finding impact. Eventually ripped off the top of the box. So 2v2. That mid play coming up straight away from Mattis. He's quick to short.
Yeah, but Ima's got position and pit now. That's a good
Doamne, ce să mai zi, bă, lui Dragney, bă, stau că, bă.
The timing of this though could catch them off guard. So JL slides into a safe
Te pup, bro, îți mulțumesc din suflet, bro.
Imma just waiting in the pit though. Waiting for his time to strike, playing off JL's contact. They know they have to worry about the pit, but dealing with Imma, proves rather easy in the end for Mattis, and as soon as JL turns to fight him, BlameF is out the other side. So FANATIC do collect the pistol round. Na'Vi got the bomb plant though, so we'll see that force buy in the next round. But FANATIC with the first step in the right direction here in the second half.
Yeah, both pistols for FANATIC in this map. If they can convert this second one, that's going to be absolutely magnificent. Weren't able to do it in the first half, but some good shooting with these USPs.
Tu ai dormit, mă, Dragney, sau acum te-ai trezit, frate, ca să înțeleg și eu ce faci?
And even though Na'Vi crack in, they can only get the plant, but they can't hold off the retake. That extra bonus money is going to help out Galil on Ima.
N-ai dormit?
Couple of Mac 10s, couple of Tech 9s.
Mai bine, frate, mai bine. Ne uităm la meci și ne băgăm la son, gata. Ai auzit, Bianca? Te pup, bă, frate, încă o dată. Mersi frumos, bro, mersi frumos de donațiile astea, șef.
They're hustling through this. Okay, no slowing down. Knock, M4 in hand. He's got the first.
Well, he takes the sting out of the first portion of the attack, but immediately gets traded out by Imma. Mattis for the archway. There's no getting past him, and yeah, that's the bomb dropped. A lot of damage done to the second player as well. So great work from Mattis. He's going to reposition out to library. Smoke comes up. He goes right through it. Can he get like CP? He can. The Wonderful quick on the trade, back with that Mac 10, and once again 2v2. But Bomb's still down, and Bit needs another fight to go his way. And just walks right through the archway smoke and throws that advantage away.
I feel like it's so hard to be patient in this scenario if you're FANATIC though. Like I don't know. It looks silly, but I almost can't blame them because you're feeling like the pressure is coming in so fast. You're smoked off. You have no
Ce noroc avem cu aici, ce rundă, bă.
Yeah. I mean, probably the best high percentage play is just to wait out those smokes, but I know Body's just feeling like he can put a stop to it coming through, just gets straight punished. So Na'Vi lose both pistols, win both second rounds. Flip that for FANATIC, and that's the depressing angle of it, is we had the opportunity to start both halves out very, very well, very strong, especially the second one, the second half pistol. This round hurts the most of the both of them, just because CT side economy is so critically important, and already you're on the back foot, and it's going to be a desperate situation trying to recover it and have money to keep buying and fighting against Na'Vi's offense. Just look at the scoreboard for Na'Vi as well.
Sănătate și virtute să avem bani să avem ce fute.
13 on Wonderful. Everyone playing solid. Nobody lights out. Just everyone doing their job. And the third and final timeout burned early for FANATIC in the second half. So last chance, Kita will have to have a say in what FANATIC's running, unless Blade wants to call a timeout later on and give him a reprieve. But FANATIC have no ability to stop things and discuss the situation.
We got that one saved M4 for BlameF. A lot of players run double eco territory, so force buy coming around this M4. Yeah, just kind of figure out how you want to position your pieces here. Don't think FANATIC are one of the teams many would consider an expected team to make it out of the EU RMR, considering how many good teams are in here.
No, it doesn't feel like.
Bă, eu vreau să fut la linie, nu vreau să fiu futut. Nu știu ce dracu scritul acolo, coaie, cred că e... Ți-e somn, aia e greșit. Scris.
This is where you look at FANATIC and say if you want to have a chance at qualifying, if you want to be in some of those late games, you need to be able to take away a best of one against some of these teams. You need to be able to win one of these. So Navi was always going to be a hard opponent for them.
Error 400.
You can see who they draw in the next round. Everyone playing two best of ones today, so have a clearer picture of where things are going to lie after the fact.
Yeah, you'd like it to be a winning best of one, certainly.
Sure. Better than losing.
Păi zice, ai mai scris boss. I-ai zis boss? Pentru tine era bine că ți-a scris el. Acum am înțeles, dar ți-ai zis boss.
And JL, ready to go around this corner at B.
Aia, de aici a apărut confuzia aia, băi.
And that smoke comes in. That will slow things down and force. Well, not really expect that.
Haide, mă. Hai, Navi, bate repede.
I think they wanted to put a smoke down towards CT and maybe have two players just kind of peek
into that. Uite, ne ducem fix în 4 oameni, ce bun.
So they're okay with this.
Dă-o dracu de virgulă, îmi trebuia boss.
Navi still have the option to fall back. Like by the time they get control of brackets, which they have, the smoke is already cleared at the B bomb site. So JL's calling that out. They can actually fall back to the B site if they choose. 25 seconds left. That option is disappeared at this point as the clock is low and JL's given up the banana position. So wrap around the bomb site, use the range of the rifles. Blame F and Pit, and time is an issue.
Blame F could step up with his rifle and get FANATIC a must-win round. And this Deagle inside of the site. Prince goes down.
Ima, bine, mă. Bine, mă.
Double of his own, and just like that, he hopes and dreams of FANATIC winning this force by round.
Bine, mă.
That setup seems so strong, but I think there's miscommunication. Like you have 4 players at the bomb site and nobody's watching rap side. Blame F gets that first kill and tucks himself down. He wants someone else, one of his other teammates, to take the next contact as they become wrapping around so that he can re-peek, so that he's not getting pre-aimed and pre-fire on the wrap. But everyone's really concerned about lane, about calls, and nobody had eyes on it. So Navi able to find with 15 seconds, able to find so much space.
Încă la treabă, Jonas, încă la treabă, șef.
Instead of like being hunkered down and just getting shot in the back, they might even be able to delay Navi long enough to win that round. A good job putting themselves in a winning situation.
Bună rău runda asta, bună rău acum, uite-te și tu, avem 10. 10-6, 10-6 o să fie, bro. 10-6.
Well, this flash primed and ready to unleash the USPs upon Navi's attack into the bomb site. Gotta give it a go, but it should get melted. Actually, USP's done pretty well there. Seki killing for Chris in the smoke. A lot of resistance being put up by these default pistols, but eventually JL's had enough. He brings the big gun to the party and ends any fun that FANATIC were having. But a lot of damage done, and Wonderful's also very low, so another kill could be set up on the USPs if given the chance.
Smoke break. Bomb plant's gonna go down. 10-6. Navi's gonna get to double digits. Looking good as Blame F slides back around, wanting to go towards T-ramp. He's going to look for some exit kills on the evacuation body. Not a high chance of grabbing a kill, but some damage would be nice. If he forces JL to have to be desperate with the bomb explosion coming up, that would be lovely. Trying to funnel them towards Banana, towards his teammate with the 5-7. And there's Bit very low. Got to be concerned about the bomb blast. Although, look at Blame F. He's so passive.
And it works. He gets a kill, Jason, and that's where you get those big kill games.
Oh, nice. He's got the AK.
As well. That's huge. Yeah. Steal away from Blame F at the end.
That's absolutely lovely. That's because, I mean, you have to think priority number 1 for FANATIC on defense. You want to get that AWP out in Nox hands. You want that AWP to have some impact. Like we saw from Wonderful in the first half. Grab a pick here and there, a couple rounds, just get you a first kill to make things a little bit easier. And that AK-47 is going to give Blame F some money to drop things over to support.
10-6. Runda asta e importantă rundă tot.
But FANATIC got to get started in this gun round, and it's got to be now. or else Na'Vi starts looking like they're way too far ahead. Hasn't been the cleanest game in the world from Na'Vi, not the sharpest game we've ever seen out of them, but you could see the disparity from the two teams that's saying, yeah, this is maybe like Na'Vi's B- game, and still having a solid lead and still looking like they're in complete control.
Nu e live, Ana, nu e
tournament they ended up
reluarea de
winning.
mâine.
They didn't come into that event with the right level at all, so we know that their floor is quite high.
It's all about peaking at the right moment.
Yeah.
Hear all those teams talk about it. You're on a long grind throughout the year and looking at the major cycle. You can't be in a grind mindset for 365 days. You're going to have to take some events a little bit lighter than others. And you want to schedule it coming into the major of this is where we grind for these 2-3 weeks leading into the biggest event.
De-aia stai și tu aici, Bianca. Nu?
Oh, wonderful. Nearly getting taken down by Knock, but sharp shot rings out for Na'Vi. They've got a 5v4.
I think he's getting nervous. The whole map's
Bine,
quiet.
mă,
Everyone from FANATIC is like, we don't know what's happening. And everyone takes their peek to figure it out. And the first two go the wrong way.
Da, bulu, da.
5 on 3.
Yeah, Madison is stuck
Frumos,
now.
mă,
He's the only
frumos.
player on this A-bomb site. He has to step up with
Da,
a
auzit.
huge round and not going to happen. He gets taken out by Imma inside of the bomb
Ce
site.
prost
Blemap
cu aia,
on the
nici
other side of
silent,
the map.
silent
Nothing
drop
he
nu
can
poate
do
să
here,
facă
so
la, bă, cred
save
că
that AK. It's
sau
11 to 6
sunt
and we're
căcați tot,
starting to get
sunt
to
căcați
the end of
tot.
Inferno.
And no cohesion on any of these fights. And you know, you get the pick on Knock. There's no chance for rebuttal. There's no one who could have helped him in that fight. You get the swing at a banana. Nobody there to help. Nobody there to trade that kill. It's just a one-on-one fight that JL wins. Then you get Mattis obviously peeking halls again. One-on-one fight. Nobody there to help. That defense, with the quiet on the map and the silence, they couldn't organize any kind of a play to double up at the point of attack. And Na'Vi on this T side in complete control. Even going to take this AK-47 away from Blame F.
Bine, mă. Nici măcar n-a dat la jos o armă.
And
not a lot of money.
Nice.
I pointed it out when 4 players were at like 12 and 13 kills. It's been a couple
Ar
rounds
trebui să
since
facă
then,
un
and now they're
half
all at
buy.
15-16. Everyone's just keeping up with each other. Beautiful shot from Wonderful. Nice and easy for JL. There's the peek from Crims. And everything's a one-on-one fight, and Na'Vi will take that every day of the week. All day of the week.
All day, every
That's what
day.
I was going to go with.
Aia, tătuțu.
You combined a couple of things.
Yeah.
It worked. Kind of. 3 MP9s. Let's see if this works out for FANATIC. They leave $1,000 average on most players. Knock a little bit extra, obviously.
A făcut gamble-ul pe băie iar.
250. Look
Yeah,
at this
but
one last good go.
I was going to say that ops coming out at 6-12. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
End live now to avoid permanent ban.
Oh, that's one way to use the MP9. Jumping on the half wall with a
Maybe
distraction setup from your teammate
go
on
out
the
of
back
the
of
live
car. So one
to
for
don't
one.
suck my dick.
Can't recover the AK, of course, but here comes the prone to the approach out of the apartment.
Bogdan.
Imma and Bit about to attack in towards Blame F.
Yeah, JL heard at least 3 people, so it gave some confidence for Imma and Bit to be aggressive in halls and at least get that positioning. No utility for FANATIC. This is going to all have to be heads-up fights. And once again, quiet on the map from Na'Vi. They're themselves not applying any pressure.
Haide, mă, hai, mă, merge spamul.
Personnel or nades. Just now, a smoke coming out. Giving them some clearance from library as a couple players probe rap side. That's Alexian. He's got the bomb. Got to be careful. Just going to be there to trade in case Bit took any kind of a contact, and they want to show like they're going to attack rap side. Back towards lane we go, and it's all Blame F with the single rifle.
$25 seconds. Here they come around the corner. Playaf's got the first target.
Bine, mă, Bit.
He is so sharp. So
Oh,
sharp.
a
With
venit
those
ăsta
headshots.
cu
But
aia.
there's still FANATIC ahead on players thanks to that kill from Crims. But Wonderful and Alexi B. And looking to close this out for 12 rounds on the board.
Wonderful's got a smoke, but he wants that clear line of sight. He might actually throw it towards, okay. Now he's going to peek towards lane. Perfect timing for this.
Yeah, they get across. He sees the information that they have moved out to that left side. And that draws Alexi B's crosshair to look over there. And he goes down, so it's all Wonderful inside of the pit. And this young sniper goes out for the long peek. And now stuck. They move into the bomb site. Oh,
Bun.
he jumped up, he pulls out 9, and he's so close to everything. But Crims rips it from his hands and gets back
Alexi
to that
B
defense.
fire al
The
boala.
kill is back.
Is there time?
And he's going to hold it. He's
I think
going to
he's
go
got it.
for it. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be close, Jason. Down to the wire. But Crims has got the defuse.
Nicely done. What a good clutch. Good job working that, trading their way and taking control with every shot that Wonderful takes. They creep a little bit closer. Scavenges the AWP. And going down to one player means the buy in this round isn't going to be anything crazy, although they did save some money, but the AWP over in Nox's hands is the big piece of the puzzle. Because FANATIC still have a chance to steal this map away. As desperate as it might be, as out of reach as it might seem, now with the AWP in Nox's hands, you can have a little bit more confidence about this. Let's see what they can do with it. 3-man start towards Banana.
16.
Not going to take his AWP to the A bomb site. And finally, with that victory, the economy settles down for FANATIC.
Bine, mă, GL. Bine, mă. Andrei, mersi frumos de follow.
Puts him on the back foot early, not only in manpower, but Blame F is forced to burn a smoke. Him and Krims were actually backing off the B bomb site as Body got aggressive towards sandbags on his own.
Ia uite nebuna câte tap-tapuri a dat Bianca, mă, să-i mănânc eu gurița de fată șmecheră.
And Alexi and Navi will realize you don't have to pull the trigger on this execute, but just a little bit of utility is going to force out a Molotov, force out another smoke, and start setting yourself up for the late round where there's plenty of options.
Bine, mă, Bit, bună reacție.
Sees the elbow sticking out before the hit. They're actually going to come right through the smoke, completely disrespected.
Blame F stuck behind the coffins. Here comes utility over the top. They're just queuing their double.
Nice, mă.
Blame F good to get one, but almost
save,
impossible.
Save. 12-7, mă. 12-7, mă. Hai, mă.
They're just so far away from this, so give it one last good go.
Yeah, it might be a world in which Navi just said, you know what, Nox got the AWP and he's not here at the B bomb site, so let's just rock and roll. Let's just get through this. No reason to fall back and go to the A site where we haven't cleared a whole lot and have to contend with the AWP. So it's nice that they get out the weapon ASAP, but not even didn't even see anyone in this round.
Haide, mă, șefilor, haide, mă, terminați odată, mă, explodează bomba aia, mă, te odată, vreau să mă și la somn.
In the opening games, some upsets. We watched as Liquid lost came to Wildcard. We watched Legacy beat Furia. Seems like we're all good for now in the European one, at least in our stream, Jason.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the other one.
Alară, mă.
5 chances for Navi to close out this map. Go 1-0 in this Swiss to start their major campaign over in Shanghai.
It's a tied game over there between Gamer Legion and Vitality.
I like that. I like that Gamer Legion's giving them a run for their money.
De dimineață vreau să fac și o omletă, bine, de dimineață, până la 11-12.
Sticking with the 5 rifles for Navi. Molotov up towards top Banana. A sea of flames. Coat Banana itself. Grenades should land on top of Bit. Yeah, that's going to be quite heavy.
Da, vreau o omletă rău. O omletă rău cu salată. Da, omletă de aia cu cartofi.
Now Ima just descending down out of the bedroom. Navi with a slower pace round in comparison to the previous.
It's been this whole half really outside of a faster paced round with Tech 9s and Mac 10s, and it's worked wonders. FANATIC just feels like they're always kind of wondering where Navi's moving because it's so quiet on the map. I think Bit even spotted the trajectory of that smoke and Molotov. He's saying Krims is up on Balk. Or someone's up on Balk.
Haide, mă, haide.
2 players in the apartments for Navi, 2 through top mid already. And JL just watching Banana.
M-au dat iar smoke, bă, ce bun smoke-ul ăla e.
Banana as that shot from Knock rings out.
This is really good from FANATIC. The constant re-smoke over in halls is making Navi really like I think they wanted to pull the trigger before that second smoke came out. It bought time for Knock and Blame F to get aggressive and Banana to find an opening kill. Now it's on this hit.
Navi wrapping around long. Blame F now arriving at library. The fight's going down inside of the bomb site, but it's all Blame F from the library. Silences too. Body inside of the site, still alive, and he drops behind the box. Bit doing what he can. It's a great shot, but with 9 seconds left, we need to start planting real soon. And he gets into the bomb site, but with no bomb on his back. And that is the problem here. He will concede.
Unde-i bomba,
the
bă?
round for FANATIC stepped up. And so great work just delaying that hit from Navi over and over with utility.
When that second smoke comes in, there's 2 players from Navi and halls and 2 players looking like they want to come up lane. And you could see nobody from Navi actually goes down in halls. They all had to reposition. They had to improvise plan B in the moment when that second smoke comes in. Really nicely done from FANATIC, rotating the utility appropriately.
Haide mă, mâncați-și, vreau să văd finalul odată.
But Navi's alright.
Mă,
Plenty of chances still. Blade's going to have a little chit-chat. This timeout gives Kita a time to be involved as FANATIC is out of timeouts.
Salut, Eduard, salut.
Two organizations that have had great history at major tournaments and Counter-Strike, FANATIC.
Bă, eu m-am tăiat în geamul de la masa asta din sufragerie.
The same position towards the end of CS:GO and definitely not at the start of CS2 here, Jason, but
Mi-a scos o coajă de
new
aia.
expectations that we've learned to have for FANATIC.
Sure, and both organizations have a deep history in Counter-Strike, dating all the way back to Counter-Strike 1.6 as well.
Uite aici.
These organizations are what, like, I think FANATIC's almost like 20 years old, 18 years old. Navi's like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. They'd be going to college soon.
Might even be older than that.
Probably.
They can drink.
Not in your country.
True.
Slow for Na'Vi again. We're hitting that 1 minute mark. Alexi B about to be thrown through the smoke with a flash behind him. Ima will get the trade. Although he's caught because there's also a crossfire set up, so Bit has to come out of the apartments at the right time, and it's worked out very well in terms of removing cribs.
Yeah, but look at how hold the phone, smoke break. It's so perfect from Na'Vi that they're able to gain so much space in different parts of the map. That even though those opening exchanges aren't like dominant for Na'Vi, there's always a player in position to respond. That hop out of holes from Bit once the trade comes in is perfect, and FANATIC have to have this retake.
Na'Vi moments away from confirming themselves their first victory here at the RMRs, but Body comes through the graveyard. 1 kill as he puts Bit in the ground. Nox steps up with a great headshot. It's all on JL to close it, and he certainly will not. Big kill from Flame F again. Another retake from FANATIC. They are not giving up in this opening game. It's 9 rounds picked up. Na'Vi don't have a whole lot of cash in a few of these players, and FANATIC are looking at a possibility of 10 rounds here, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, a bomb set that's usually very, very difficult to retake, and FANATIC make it look very nice. A little bit of utility, a smoke that makes them awkward fights from halls. You could tell Na'Vi in the post plant and the 3-on-3, nobody able to get into the bomb site after the plant, nobody stuck in. Really trying to sell the second player up in halls, but they needed at least 1 kill from that first player. Setting JL up to be the big time clutcher, and he couldn't handle the 1v2. So Na'Vi's gonna have to drop down to mostly upgraded pistols, a couple of AK-47s for danger, not a whole lot of utility. And opportunities to close out Inferno and FANATIC in this best of one starting to dwindle.
User, mersi frumos de tap-up-uri, șef. User 7, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8.
A little bit quicker this time from Na'Vi. And Bit, well, he's getting opened up perfectly on Knock. Good trade from Crims.
Bun, Bit, gen. Uitați-vă rândul.
So as soon as they speed things up, the dreams of FANATIC start to just fall away.
And remember, a change of pace too, a change of timing on that kind of pounce, because it's been quiet till very, very late in the rounds, and this time, perhaps a risk taken because of the pistols. But Na'Vi maintained that same kind of opening, quiet on the map, a little bit of utility, just gaining standard control, and this time FANATIC not ready for just the peak from Bit. 21 kills on Bit, 20 on JL.
Să vedem și meciul, bro. E mă cu polarul cu aia.
Body will run through short, but too many Na'Vi players ready to eradicate him. And he'll be peaked, eventually dropped by Bit. A 13-9 opening game from Na'Vi. They topple FANATIC. FANATIC put up a decent fight, but just not quite at the level of Na'Vi.
Yes, not quite at the level of Na'Vi. The scoreline did make it look a little...
Gata. Vă pup, băi, baciule, somnușor, șef. Dragnea, ai revenit și tu, șefule. Mă, tu ce faci, mă? Alergi, se întorci, se duci, se întorci, se vii, se duci, se... Mă, da, te pup, Bolo, te pup, șefule.